Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Suzie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right then. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready, kids?
I am.
Aye, Captain.
Well, welcome back, darlings, to Sharing My Truth Pod. I'm Suzie.
And I'm Mel.
And follow us for more at Sharing My Truth Pod on Instagram and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And hello, babes. How are you?
I'm very well.
Very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's getting a little warmer outside.
Oh my gosh, that helped.
It does.
I cannot tell you how much that helped.
I know.
To me, to be honest, when it's sunny
Mm-hmm.
and I see the blue sky, which as an English person, we don't see the blue sky very
Right.
often. So it really helps psychologically. And the snow is not on the ground. That's the thing that just pisses me off.
It makes you feel sexy. You
blue
know?
sky or the snow?
No, like the warmth. It's
It
like
does.
finally I
It
can
does.
wear a mini skirt soon. It's like, thank
Well,
fucking God.
my miniskirt days have
I don't believe that.
passed
I
and-
would love to see you in a mini
Really?
skirt. Absolutely.
questionable.
Absolutely.
But it's just not wearing that big coat like you're in
Mhm.
your duvet. I
Fuck, I know.
just want to get all these layers off.
Yeah, I wore like a blazer just outside and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this feels good.
It's exciting.
This feels good,
It's
you know?
exciting. But Canadians do have this false sense of it happens every year, and I note this as somebody who didn't grow up here. Every year, you guys sort of say, "Right, it's March, it's spring, it should be," but every year it's
Every
still
year we
cold. You
think.
still have snow, you still have flurries. April's still shit. It's not spring.
We always think that it's going to be summer in March and it never is.
Exactly, it's a delusional, but that's okay.
Well, Mel, what do you think about people watching?
Well, I think as a society we do a lot of it. We're
I
a little
love it.
In what context? In like you're in a sort of cafe, or you have this sort of view. You're in a cafe in
Yes.
Paris, and you're watching people walk by, and you're having your glass of wine or your coffee or
Absolutely.
something sort of exciting like that.
Yes, like I think it comes from also like from having past experiences, obviously like working in the hospitality industry,
Right.
where all you're doing is kind of like watching your guests and like doing whatever you need to
Right.
do for them.
Right.
It just kind of turns you into this people watcher, and you're seeing all the first dates.
Mhm.
You're seeing men who've come with like different women all week, and then
Yes.
they come with their wife on
Yes.
Sundays.
And
You
you're
know, like
that's
of
not
course,
his
and you
wife.
can't say
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
But you want a good tip.
Yeah.
But like there's so many things, and I think as you're saying, we've become a society of people watchers.
Oh yeah, I think we're obsessed with it. I mean, at the end of the day, social media is a form of voyeurism, isn't it?
Yes. Oh,
And you find yourself, don't you find yourself? I think anybody of any generation that is on a social media platform, you're like flicking through all this crap,
yeah.
and then you sit there for quite a long time, and you're
Yes.
like, what
The
am
fuck
I
am I
looking
watching?
at? But you're peeping into somebody's life, and
Mhm.
it's super creepy in a sense.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the truth about voyeurism.
Yeah.
And how it is literally inflicting on our everyday life.
Yes.
And we're drinking a little bit of vino because it's a bit of a crazy little weird topic almost.
It is. I think we need a glass of wine.
Definitely. And cheers to you, love.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers to you. Clink.
Clink as we move away from the
Love it.
microphone. Priorities. But
This is the thing. It's like, because of social media, as you're saying, it's like, and honestly, like porn.
yeah.
We're constantly watching people not only having sex, but just moving within their everyday lives. We're literally like what they call, social stalking people.
Yeah.
People are making finstas, which is literally so
What the hell is
voyeuristic.
a finsta?
Oh no. So a finsta is like, it's like a fake Insta that you're
Oh.
making.
Right.
And so you can, it's people kind of use it either way. So like either your Instagram on social media is like completely curated to your brand.
Yeah.
And then you have a Finsta that's actually really you and you just have your friends on it. So that's
Right.
one way of it. Or the other way to use it is like, obviously you have your regular Instagram that you're using, and then you have a fake Instagram with like a fake picture of whatever, and you're using it to literally social stalk people and like
Yeah.
your ex-boyfriend and like
Yeah. No,
your
I've heard
old
of
boss
that.
and things like
I
that.
didn't know it was called Finsta.
A Finsta.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
That's
I've
like
learned
a little bit of a millennial Gen Z vocabulary for you, Mel.
It is. That's an education in
so funny.
itself.
So yeah, so like that's what we're talking about. It's like literally voyeurism
Mhm.
is doing something like looking at someone or something in a completely mostly sexual way.
Yeah, it's
You know,
completely.
it's
And
completely.
you get your jollies, if you like. It's a nice
Yeah,
way
a
of
little
putting it.
roused.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other way of putting it. Out of the watching,
Yeah.
which obviously is completely illegal.
It is.
in that sense. But it is so strange how we just look at stuff on the interweb or on social media, or like it's just so bizarre how we watch this stuff that, you know, for me especially 20 years ago, 25 years ago, you would not have had
No.
the faintest clue that you would have been able to do that. And it's just peculiar, yet it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yet it's not interesting. So most of the stuff you're watching on, you know, TikTok, Insta, Facebook, I mean, who looks at Facebook anymore, but you know what I mean? Whatever, is really just a load of crap.
Yeah.
But we're all fascinated by it. But we're fascinated also, what's so peculiar, by watching people's stuff, yet they've curated this stuff. It's so strange.
Yeah, like that's actually a good point. Like voyeurs, and people who have voyeuristic tendencies in the way, they literally want to see the real you and how you're really having sex,
Yes.
or like how you're undressing, or
Yes.
like all these other weird, gross things
Yes.
that people, you know, like
Yeah.
peeping toms just want to see. I'm sure there's, I don't know what a female peeping tom would be.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
Very good point.
Yeah, but anyways, but
Just
but
a
yeah,
stalker.
yeah, literally just a stalker,
don't
which
know.
which exists.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
this is not just a male problem.
No.
But yeah, in the way of just like, it's extremely sexual, and you kind of just want to see the real way that, even if it's like the grossest way you're having sex and you just want to watch it. That's
yeah, well, yeah,
that's what these
but
people,
I mean,
they don't want to be involved.
They don't.
They just
And
wanna watch.
But the disturbed thing, obviously, is the fact that the person they're watching has not in any way given their consent.
True.
So that's where the true creepiness comes in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you think about anything we've been talking about, like social media, any of the other ways that you can see things, you have the consent to watch that person because they're on. I'm not saying it's sexual, whatever they're doing, whether they're eating a pickle or,
Yeah.
you know, they're whatever they're doing, all the weird things that you see.
Eat a pickle.
Yeah, but there
Yeah.
are people eating pickles, aren't there? I just have that thing of, like, I remember when one of my daughters was really into watching ASMRs.
Oh my God.
and
that's
trying to
hilarious.
get my head around.
Why the fuck is someone watching this?
We are watching somebody eating a pickle and listening to the sound of the pickle. Like, what is going on in the world? Like, it is seriously fucked up if I'm listening to somebody eating a pickle in Pennsylvania or wherever it was.
No, I agree.
It's just wild.
It's horrible.
But that person has actually gone onto that platform, recorded themselves eating the pickle,
Yeah.
opening the jar, the whole thing. And that's, even though you're looking into that, obviously they've given consent, and therein it lie the huge difference. But
Yeah, and those people are also putting that thing on. Like, if you don't want to be looked at on social media, you don't have to post on social media, and no one's making you.
100%.
Yeah.
But we are in this society where we do have this weird desire to sort of sit behind something, sit behind the curtain, sit behind the computer, and like watch stuff, even if you have the consent, which obviously voyeurism is in its extreme form. You don't have the consent, but it is pretty creepy if you
Yeah.
actually think about it.
It's so fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Like, and there's kind of like, there is like this element of sexiness when you're like, let's say you're like in a bar or something, and you're like, I think that guy's watching me, and he's cute, and you're attracted, and it's like, it's not consensual. Like, obviously you're not speaking about it, but you're like, you're kind of like, there's an energy.
Yeah.
And that's just obviously completely different as like literally a man outside or a woman outside, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're watching a random person in a window.
going
about their day.
business. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit, yeah, exactly what you're saying. If you're in a bar, well, you're kind of all there in a social context. You're all there. That's why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not necessarily there, obviously, to meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
but it's different than obviously somebody, with a camera on the other end
my
of, and there've been so many movies made about it as well. I mean,
Yeah, like that. There's like a Netflix show. I mean, this is more about like stalking and like fucked up. I don't know, but the Netflix show You, which is like getting like it's so much attention. I
haven't watched that.
I haven't actually either, but just because I literally get so freaked out by stalkers.
Yeah.
Because like I haven't had an actual stalker before, but there has been time that I'm like I've literally just been followed, and it's absolutely terrifying. You've had a stalker?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
I suppose stalker maybe is a bit, is there a classification of stalker? But when I was at university, this guy who I knew was watching me and my friend would call us and put the phone down and breathe and be really weird. And this is in the days, this is way before social media, way before, like literally as a phone is all you had, phone and sending notes and stuff like that. And sort of, breathing down the phone and doing all this stuff and picking the phone up and putting the phone down and clearly was watching us and stuff like that. Yeah. And I suppose in that we didn't do anything about it. We just kind of went, okay.
Well, what can you fucking do about it?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
He's technically like, that's what's so hard about this. Like he's technically not breaking the law.
No. And and
that's so hard.
I don't even know.
Unless he's like literally physically assaulting you. I'm sorry, but like the police today and obviously like years ago of when you were in university, like you call the police.
They're not going to do anything.
What the fuck are they going to do? They're going to be like,
well, nothing.
What do you want us to do? I don't know.
Nothing.
Like, that's what's so hard about it.
Especially when you're younger and you're not, so you don't really have the wherewithal to deal with things oh my God, it freaked us out.
Yeah, of course it did.
I lived with this other girl at university and it was just like, oh my God, who the hell is that? And it was so bizarre in those days because they had to call a landline. And okay, it was much easier to find numbers for people, but they had to actually know where we were and call the line. And
so
it
terrifying.
was very, very weird. And then it just kind of petered out and, that was that. But it's very, very common. I mean, at the end of the day, you have no idea. And it's actually one of the things my husband always says. I have 2 daughters and he always says to us all the time, he's obsessed with it. Close the blinds, close the windows. You do not know who's out there. And there are a lot of very strange individuals.
I know. What's really bad is that like, I never close my blinds.
Yeah.
Like ever close my blinds. Like, and obviously like we live in a loft apartment, like condo thing. And, obviously there's like condos right across from us. And I'm always, it's so bad to say, I'm always like just checking it out because you can. It's like so available.
Yeah.
You're always just like looking at people like, oh yeah, that, they're watching TV over there. Oh yeah, they're the dog shitting on their balcony.
Well,
like,
yeah, exactly. It's voyeuristic, isn't it?
Because you try to like, honestly, like, because people are, I meant like saw my neighbor just like outside on this balcony, just like completely in the nude, like watering his plants.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we'll have sex and blinds will be open, like
wow,
everything. But I'm like, no one's gonna watch. They might.
Well, there you go. They you don't know.
Sorry to my neighbors. Yeah,
I know. Sometimes it's funny. I remember I was on holiday somewhere, and I was on this balcony, and the balconies were very close together. And I was just sunbathing, and it was very common in Europe, topless. I wasn't fully nudie, but it was topless, which is totally normal in Europe. Everyone in North America has a complete conniption about it, but it's nothing. And I sort of went to the sort of end of the balcony and just, you're looking over at the view, isn't this lovely? And I looked over to my left and there's this very large Belgian man, completely naked.
No.
And I just went, whoo! And just ran away very quickly. I mean, he wasn't freaked out at all.
No, of course not.
I mean, that's not voyeuristic at all. But I'm just saying we live in such close proximity to other people. And maybe we don't like respect each other's...
Yeah.
Or we think somehow that because we live close to each other that...
And we see everything anyways because social media, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
it's just like, yeah. And there's also the thing of like when you're like a voyeur and even like, I mean, like I have these like sexy thoughts of like, it's like the risk of being caught. Not that like voyeurs are like the risk.
Voyeurs.
It's like the risk of being caught. Like they're watching.
But
let's
they're
say
into the watching. They're not into. Yeah, what is it?
Do you know
about
what I mean
being
though? Like
caught? I don't
they're
know.
like they're watching, and then what if like I don't know. I feel like that is something like that. Like it's like if I, like if you want to have sex in public or something like that, it's like there's the risk of being caught. Not saying I don't know. Is that voyeuristic?
That's a very good question. Well, let me tell you. I'm going to tell you. This is a fact.
Oh, are we on to
'Cause
Mel's
it's
fact checks?
from a source. This is from Merck Spaniels. I'm not sure consumer version. I think this is pharmaceutical company or something. Anyway, I don't know, but I'm going to link it in the blog. But anyway, voyeurism is a form of paraphilia. So most people with voyeuristic tendencies do not have voyeuristic disorder. And voyeurism is the act of observing, i.e. peeping, that is arousing.
Right, just the peeping is arousing.
The looking without the person's consent. It's not the sexual activity. So voyeurs do not seek sexual contact with the person being observed. They just want to look. And that's the problem, because they're looking at somebody without that person's consent.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you're talking about being caught. Well, I suppose that is a sense of.
Because here's the thing, like, I'm pretty sure it's voyeuristic to be a flasher.
That's a good question.
Right? Like, there's all those fucking men on the subway who want to take their goddamn dick out.
I can't tell you how many times I've been flashed at.
This is the thing. I've definitely been flashed a couple times in the TTC.
Actually, and at a very young age, that's happened to me.
It's horrible. It's horrible when you get flashed. It's literally disgusting. Like, it's so shocking and you can't do anything about it.
It's very confusing. I know it happened to me when I was very young, and twice.
Wow. Like very young as in like 12 or?
No, once when I was 8.
Wow.
And another time I was in a public pool and I was with a friend and I was probably about 10.
Wow.
And coming out of the changing room and this man was just getting it out. And then finally somebody saw him and got rid of him.
In the woman's changing room?
No, like it was just the changing room. You sort of came out into this area that just wasn't very visible to the rest. What the pool wasn't exactly close by, but he was just like standing, lurking, waiting.
No,
for particularly because at that time of day, young girls to come out.
It was horrible,
absolutely foul. And the other time was not a nice experience. But it's funny. Well, it's not funny. Funny is the wrong word. But when it happens at a young age, it goes into this weird recesses of your mind and you don't think anything of it because you're too young to process it. And many years later, you're like, oh my God, that happened.
Yeah.
Because it once happened to me when I was with a friend and her brother was older. So we were about 8 and her brother was probably a good 10 or more years older than us. And then all of a sudden he just flashed. And he actually had some issues with his kind of mental capacity. So it was, it's strange how it happened. And then I didn't think about it for years and years and years. And then I was like, and then it's weird. It comes back to you. But all those things, is that voyeuristic? I mean, I don't know. Is it the same kind of paraphilia? I mean, it's a serious disorder. I mean,
I think it's like the voyeuristic tendencies. Obviously, not all voyeurs are the same, right?
Absolutely.
And it's just like, it's the way that we are. And it's like, it's not the way that we are, but it's the way that some people can become because of these things like porn
100%.
And like social media.
And stuff like cam girls and all that sort of stuff.
100%.
The fact that you can sit behind a screen and see pretty much anything you want, anything money can buy, you can go online and you can see.
100%.
I mean, I have to say in sort of defense of that generally it's women, sometimes couples, but the people on the other side or OnlyFans or any of these kind of things, they are protected by the fact they're doing this completely consensually.
100%. I'm like, I am not fucking shitting on cam girls.
Absolutely
like,
not.
Power to them.
I 100% agree. And they are protected. And that, in many senses, is an amazing thing about the modern world, is that they can provide that service and they are protected. 'Cause in the old days, they were not protected at all from all the menagerie of weirdos out there. And that is the thing, is that there are people that are, seriously seriously psychologically, the way you and I think about normal sexual, social, whatever interactions. I mean, normal is what do we mean that's a broad term. But the way we think about it, the way we think about meeting people, and you think that if you need to meet people or see people by being hidden,
Yeah.
what the layers of stuff that means.
Yeah.
But that added to that, we live in a world where it's completely geared towards you being able to do all this stuff
Yeah.
and not be seen or nobody knows.
Yeah.
And it has a side where it's, we're talking about OnlyFans and cam girls and stuff like that, which is fun. But then it has a really, really dark side.
Yeah, of course. Like anything, though.
Like anything. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing about human beings. And I think that the modern world, like people, I hear a lot of funny talk about generational things like boomers or older, even older. I know people are even older who say things like, oh my God, social media and the interweb does all these terrible things. And you're like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
These are human beings. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like this anyway. This
Yes.
is just a new thing, a new way to do stuff.
100%.
And by cutting this out is not going to stop anything.
It's like porn. It's like, porn has always been there since the beginning. And you can't just, you think because, oh my God, you like, I don't know, sign a petition that Pornhub should be off the internet. Like, are you fucked? Like,
you almost said interweb.
I literally almost said interweb, but I hate you for it. But it's ridiculous. It's just like, porn is always going to be there. And it's not like everyone's going to have a porn addiction because of this.
No, I know.
Porn addiction happens because this person has an addictive personality and they may not have a better social life. Like, 100%. It's just upsetting, 100%. But it's not porn's fault.
No.
And it's the same with everything.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You just have to, like, things in moderation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Sugar, booze, porn.
That's right.
Yeah.
The 3 gifts of life.
Alcohol. Did I say alcohol? I don't know what I said.
I think you did.
Of wine, so who knows what I've said.
That's great. I love that. Well, I mean, we're all voyeurs in our own way. I actually truly believe that. It's just because of social media. And because literally people watching is become such a... People love to people watch. People love to people watch.
Yeah, but you think
and not in a sexual way, but just love.
Absolutely, 100%. But you think about reality TV.
Oh my God,
or
yes.
Like weird shows that I have to say I've never personally really got into. Like, I don't know if you've ever watched Love Island, which is a huge thing.
Jeff loves it. I cannot stand it.
And it's a huge thing. And I've never got into it, but my daughters, or one of my daughters, is really into it. She's always talking about it. And then stuff like reality TV. Mm-hmm. Like any kind of reality TV, when, like it started with Big Brother. I don't know what it was called here. Like when you're in the house.
Yeah, it's Big Brother here.
Which is depressingly a British invention. Which
of course.
I really am very sorry to the world for that. But that is voyeuristic, that you want to see these people in this house, how they're going to get along. Oh, are they going to have sex? Are they going to fight? Are they going to, be friends?
Yeah, and you want to see it all. And
you want to see it.
There's literally cameras everywhere. And it's just, it's weird. It's so weird.
It's super weird.
Yeah.
And I remember when I think the first Big Brother, God, when was that in the UK? 105 years ago. That was kind of interesting. And then after that, you're like, oh my God, this is so boring. Like, what are we watching?
Yes.
But people were obsessed, and they still are. I mean, you think about it, there's reality TV for what people have in their storage lockups. There's reality TV, like the Survivor thing.
Oh my God.
Like there's reality TV for like everything. And then there was the whole sort of, like Apprentice stuff with Trump and all that sort of crap. But it's all about watching people do something. And it's
fail. People love to watch people fail.
Yeah, because it makes them feel better.
Of course.
Yeah. If it makes you feel better about your life.
Yeah.
If your life's a bit shitter than mine.
100%.
And maybe that's the thing about social media, is that you watch all this stuff and you go, well, I'm not that shit. My life's not that shit. I'm really good.
That is honestly like,
Which
it's
is
so funny.
Depressing.
It is literally like the amount of reality TV shows there are out there now, because they keep making them.
Well, it's cheap. It's cheap TV.
Yeah, I guess.
And easy.
Well, these people get paid.
Yes, but it's not talent. They don't have to pay
That's so
serious
true.
talent, So it's cheap and cheerful.
It's cheap, and then
Knock
they
them
don't.
out,
Yeah,
people are going to watch it,
Yeah.
and like Love Island or whatever. They don't have to. They're not. They become famous afterwards, but they're not generally when they go in.
no.
And that really is what we call in England a knocking shop.
I'm sorry. What?
Well, when they're just shagging,
A
they're
knock and shop.
knocking.
Knocking
Yeah,
shop.
that's probably not very polite. Yeah, it's basically when they're all having sex.
No, but that's what I'm
it is.
saying.
Everyone's waiting, the
Yeah.
anticipation. And I honestly have not seen that much, but like in the UK, you cannot like watch TV for somebody not talking about Love Island. So
That's
it's not
crazy.
like Love Island itself. Then people are talking about watching Love Island, and it's weird.
It is really weird.
Very,
like,
very strange.
and then all these like Real Housewives.
Yes.
Oh,
That
and
is nuts,
just the
too.
franchises
Yeah.
of them, and it's just like on like all of Bravo TV.
Exactly, and it's very
And it's getting
weird, and
ridiculous.
it's getting ridiculous, and I remember like the early days of that. You watched it, and you're like, and it's super voyeuristic, but in your head this is all edited.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird, like, hang on, I think I'm seeing their life. I'm not really seeing their life.
You know what? I don't think a lot of people actually think
Is
it's
it-
edited.
Is it me who just thinks that?
No, I mean, obviously it is edited, and like the producers do
Yeah.
things and say things and make other people, like the cast, do things.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously very edited in
Yeah,
that way,
yeah.
and and scripted in a way if it's not scripted, but
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
the producers do things to make things happen,
yeah,
But a lot of people just don't believe it that way.
yeah.
Like they're just like, oh my God, this is so real, and like this is how they live, and like this is what they're doing, and it's
And it's terrifying because it doesn't have the only Real Housewives one that I watched is the one. Is it Beverly Hills? And they're just completely ridiculous. These
yeah,
women.
like
And they sort of go. They don't really go. They don't do normal things. They don't go to the supermarket, but they go anywhere, and they
Mhm.
look like they're getting dressed up to go to. I mean, it's insane. And then the fights, and the jewels, and then the cars, and the sort of one woman is actually English. I think she's the funniest person, obviously, and she has this little doggy like.
oh yeah, I like
Mr.
her.
Moses.
She's the only
Lisa
one that everyone
Vanderpump.
likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's hilarious because I think she has actually worked. As the rest of them are sort of, but it's the bitchiness
Yeah.
is on another level. But
And the amount of crazy you have to be to just be cast in that
oh my
show
gosh, yeah.
and to just live that life, to have
Bizarre.
literally like I can't imagine like just like obviously I'm an actor and I like to do things
Yeah.
on my own, like on
Yeah.
that time when I'm hired for it, but to have that all
Yeah.
the time, I
In
don't know
your
how
life.
long they're doing
the
it.
pressure, yeah,
The pressure of that 6 months or whatever it is out of the year,
it must be
that you're
awful.
just constantly on like a cameras in front
But-
of you.
And the thing I would personally, if I did it, like we're doing this podcast, it's like you personally are in it, but my whole family isn't it. I'm not consenting for
Yeah.
all my children and everyone I know to be on it. And I think that's the hard side of it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
We got
but,
quite a little off topic there.
we have a bit.
I think I'd be really good at reality TV. Like on Love Island. I think I'd kill it.
I seriously think you'd kill it.
I think
You
I'd
really
kill it.
would.
I think I'd kill it.
And then you'd
Love Island, if you want to have me, I'll go.
And you'd love, and there's lots of Scottish guys on it, I think. And you'd
You know I love a Scot.
You'd love the talking and the what they're saying. You'd be like, what are you saying? You wouldn't. So it'd be quite nice. You wouldn't understand about 95% of what was going on.
I would love
That's
that.
probably key.
I just like, you can talk to me. I won't fucking know what the
Yeah.
fuck you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
Love Island, reach out. Hit
Yeah.
me up in the DMs.
Love Island, we've got somebody for you here. So just go to our homepage.
But I'm not British. They have American ones. I don't think you can
Why
do
would
it as a
you need to
Canadian.
be why?
I don't think you can do it as a Canadian or something.
Well, that's not right. Is
right. You tell them.
It? Okay, I'm going to contact them.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'll call my agent.
Yeah, because I can't see them having Canada Love Island. Can you?
No, where would we go? Muskoka?
Mm.
Ew.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. I don't really. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyways,
enough about Love Island.
back onto voyeurs.
So we're back onto voyeurs. So what have we concluded, Susie?
Well, porn is good.
Porn is good, is it?
Paraphilia is bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
I think it's all just like a give and take. Like there's the fact where it's like it is sexy of like a risk of getting caught. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, maybe I'll give some roadhead. And maybe the guy in the truck next door will
Some
see it.
roadhead.
Yeah, like there's just like weird things like that I'm like, this is kind of hot because we could get caught. But it's not like I'm doing it for someone else.
That is the thing of the week. Some roadhead. Oh my God, that is hilarious.
I'm just being truthful.
Yeah, and you should. Well, sharing your truth, I love it. But roadhead, that's fantastic.
No, have you never given roadhead? Come on, be honest.
Maybe, but I have definitely not called it roadhead.
What do you call it?
I don't think I've gone.
Give it a blowy.
I haven't gone as far as to give it a description.
Well, we call it roadhead.
Okay. Now I know.
Now you know.
I'm up with the verbiage.
It's excellent. I mean, there's just things that like I think we all do, and we all kind of think about this. We wouldn't do it if we didn't think we would get caught. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I think it doesn't matter what it is in life. It doesn't matter, we're talking about voyeurism, but it doesn't matter whether it's this, it doesn't matter whether it's alcohol, it doesn't matter whether it's anything in your life. If you do it to an obsessive level, there is a problem.
Yeah.
And obviously voyeurism is about consent, and that's, particularly a huge topic in the modern world, if you like, for women, that men finally are kind of understanding that somewhat, but that understanding that you do not have if somebody says no, it's no.
Yeah.
And you cannot look at them, talk to them, touch them, whatever the hell it is, without their consent. And that is absolutely crucial. But I think that it's like anything, like I just said, like anything in life, anything that's obsessive, anything that crosses that line of not having consent, somebody's well, I keep saying consent, but yeah, consent, then it's a problem. You've crossed the line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very complicated.
But even like
is it?
you're like, this obsession with social media and like needing to know what everyone's doing at all times.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we so addicted to it?
I don't know. I mean, I find the thing, I'm not on Snapchat because I'm way too old.
I'm even too old for Snapchat.
And so
like,
that's
it's
a
just
super
a lot.
Gen Z thing.
Yeah.
And I find that, and I've never used it, but obviously I see it from my kids. And it's like, I find that super strange that they look at this sort of map and they can see where everyone is at any one time. I would hate that.
Right.
But that is kind of voyeuristic. And they look at it and they're like, oh, so-and-so. Or, recently we were away on a family vacation and my daughter was like, oh, so-and-so's here and so-and-so's down the road. And we were in a completely different country. And I was just like,
why are you fucking looking at this?
That is very weird. But they're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And so they can never disconnect. It is just and somebody can please tell me if I've got that wrong. But I do feel it's a generational thing. I love it if nobody knows where I am.
I love it too.
I don't want anybody to know where I am.
Oh my God, it feels
which
so
obviously
good.
Social media people do know where you are. But they actually want to know. They want people to know where they are and they want to know where other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, but that is the social media platforms have done that. They've made them seek that, desire that in a totally sort of everyday level. It's very strange. It's very weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for everyone. Obviously, Gen Z is growing up with it. So it's much harder to disconnect.
It's part. I don't think they can disconnect.
No, they're never going to. And even us, like me now, I'm like, it's like, unless I can afford to disconnect, you know what I mean? How can you?
I think it's almost impossible. Everything in your life is
we're all voyeurs,
digital.
baby.
Yeah.
We're all a little bit voyeurs. Are you kidding me? You're a TikTok queen.
I do love
love TikTok.
As we know.
You love a tickety talk.
I call it tickety talk.
You love TikTok. You love watching people and hearing them.
I love TikTok.
I love and that's fine.
And I don't know why I like TikTok.
Because you're a voyeur.
Yeah, maybe. God, that's
just a couple tendencies here and there, just a sprinkle.
I think I'm going to backtrack. I think saying I love TikTok is a little strong.
Well, you don't have to lie to our audience.
But I am a scroller. Scroller?
Yeah, you're a scroller like everyone else.
Yeah, which is,
I know you're too posh to push, but you're still a scroller in heart.
Very good. You remembered that. I love it. Yeah, I was too posh to push. I wasn't actually. I just didn't push. But anyway, that's another subject. Go back to our older podcasts and you'll find out what
pregnancy
I mean.
podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, anyways, love. This has been fabulous.
It has. And
did we learn about voyeurism?
I think we did a bit. I think we've understood something on some level.
Absolutely, we did.
And I hope other people have understood a little bit.
I think everyone
thinking about it.
In my idea, it's like, if something that doesn't hurt someone else gets you off, doesn't hurt you, doesn't hurt yourself, it gets you off.
And is legal. And it's key.
Would hopefully be legal, but legality has changed in every country.
Legal schmeagle.
Legal schmeagle. Like, it's fucking illegal to be gay places. Fuck that shit.
true.
Do you know what I mean? Fuck the legals. I know your husband's a lawyer.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not saying, Anyways.
Intense.
But you know what I mean.
I do.
It's just like, if it's not hurting anyone else and everything's consensual, then yeah.
Consent is a key.
Consent is key.
See. Yeah.
That's it. That's it, baby. That's what we learned today. Consent is key.
Yeah.
Anything to add? We good?
No, I have nothing to add.
Excellent.
That's it.
We've done it all.
I've done it all. I'm saying goodbye until the next time, Suzie.
Until the next time.
And
we love you.
We love you. And yeah.
Talk to us about voyeurism, guys. Let us know what you guys think.
We want to hear. We want you to send us stories, share, keep doing it.
If you're a voyeur and you want to chat with us, I'd like to know.
Would you?
Okay. I like to know all the stories.
She loves stories.
I love a good story.
Suzie loves a story, and the more outrageous, the better.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So, yeah, she's the person to share with.
Thanks, guys. Can't wait to hear from you.
Bye.
You dirty dogs.
Speak next time. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website at sharingmytruth.com to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.